Hello, this is Mike of Nearly Enough Dice, and this is the Kerbal Space Program. Right, and what I'm doing at the moment is really just an experiment at the minute, because that's not actually going to help me at all. Well, maybe it will. Yeah, one thing I've never been quite sure of is, do scientific instruments actually affect the center of mass? And, oh, it looks like they don't. So there you go, that's a piece of information I was not aware of. Now, the goo, as you can see, does change center of mass. So what I've done, basically all I've done is I've got the very smallest and lightest probe. Just look, if I can stick science on it, although it doesn't change the center of mass. The goo does, as you can see. So if I place goo on things, I need that to be balanced. But I don't need the gravioli detector, and I don't need the seismic detector. They don't need to be balanced. Oh, no, there is a communitron. That's interesting. That does, mysteriously. This is the resource scanner. That's enormous. Processing lab. Mysteriously, that affects the center of mass. So does Science Junior. Oh, this thing doesn't do. The atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer does not. Surface scanning module, yes. Comms thing, yes. Okay, so this. So the communitron, no. But this one, which is the big dish thing, which is that one. So that does. It's got blinky lights on, apparently. I did not know that. Oh. Telemachus antenna, no. Okay. Computer unit, that's for Kerbal engineer system. But there's two of them, and I don't think there's any difference except the look. So you got one that looks kind of like, you know, a really old 70s computer, or you got the very exciting looking, you know, just bits of computer. Yeah, it looks like a motherboard just strapped on the side. Commutron 16, no. Barometer, no. Tried those two, and thermometer. Okay, now the reason I really want to do that is I've been looking through my missions, and basically the next thing I want to do is a steel snake thing. So I'll grab steel snake 2. And I think, right, because what I went and did is, in order, because I was assuming everything needs to be balanced. This is like a little control panel, if you like, for science. So the Kerbal lands, and they do science. While stood here. But I've repeated it like 4 times, and I very clearly don't need to do that. So I just grab each individual piece, pick it up and put off again. See, I think I've saved about 30 grand just by doing that. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the same for that, but I'm actually going to need a new one of those, because that does change the center of mass, and therefore it does need to oh, hang on. Ah, right, okay, yeah. I hit X. What I wanted to hit was Z in order to limit the places it can go. And I hit X instead, which actually changes the number of things that you put in. So it's going to go here on this one. and to further ensure that they should be aligned, if I just grab that and click it, that will align them, because that's kind of what this tool does. So they will now be balanced. Ideally what I'd want to be able to do is just do it actually there is another way I can do it now I think about it. Let's just get rid of them, which is actually this. Let's just get rid of them. I'd rather do it on twofold symmetry, because that way I know that they're okay. And I'm just going to stick it to the bottom like this. Actually, I'm going to put them to the side. While technically, there we go. While technically, I think I can stick them in the front there, and it will work. As in, the materials bay will open and stuff. I might not be able to get in close enough then to grab the data, because I've been having troubles with that. And speaking of such, I'm going to see if I can't move the engines out slightly. No, that's silly. They're very clearly not making contact. I do it that way. I'm going to put that back, because there's an issue where they come in, you know, the Kerbal actually can't, even with when the ladder is extended, they actually can't climb down, and it's a bit of a pain to actually kind of have to shove their face right into this, and almost risk knocking the thing over in order to get the data from it. So I actually can also get rid of yeah. I was kind of trying to do Shift X to get to lower the. Oh wait, why is everything? There we go. Everything stopped for a second. Doing Shift X to. There we go. I don't know what was going on there. I was trying to just do Shift X to bring down the symmetry mode, and it wasn't doing that. I think it's because I was still stuck on that, the offset. Oh. Hotkeys 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, there you go. I just noticed that if you hover over like these tools here, they've got a little number next to them, and those are hotkeys 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, there you go. Okay. They seem to be slightly further up than they were. Okay, that'll do. And basically by removing tools that I don't need, and especially bits of science that I don't need, I'm actually saving quite a lot of cash on this. I mean, I'm losing some visual symmetry, but that's not a huge issue. I can't remember what aerial is on this. Actually, I'm not sure this even has an aerial on it. Because the whole point is, oh no, I do, yeah. And I have made those symmetrical, because those are the ones that actually do, they do have a mass on them. Now, do I want to replace some of these solar panels? Because these are just dumb solar panels. I could replace them with slightly more sophisticated ones. And do I want to put thermal control systems on? Deployable radiator, tracking speed 0.1, panel strength 5. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what the radiator panels are for, or how they work, or what makes them good, or anything. A radially attachable radiator panel. Let's put that. Let's just go. Right. Ah. There you go. I've got one of those. Doesn't even do anything. Or I've got one of these. I don't know what that does. It says it's deployable, but I don't know what that. Normally, if it's deployable, I can right-click and deploy it and look and see what it does. But I don't get that option. Fuel cell array. I know what that is. Thermal control system medium. A deployable thermal control system consisting of multiple liquid-cooled radiator panels. No idea what that's for, or how it works, or what's good about it. I mean, I know. I mean, my big wheels. Sorry, big wheels. Big wheels. Huge wheels. I mean, I've got that probe that sat around Moho that can really do with some radiators because it actually does heat up. I can't really attach things to it. You know, actually, that's a radiator panel. That's just a panel, so it doesn't. That one doesn't deploy. I think that's the biggest radiator thing. Oh no, thermal control system large. There you go. Anyway, so I think I've saved a fair amount of cash on that. I'm just going to call it the Steel Snake 3. I'm just going to hit load. Don't actually want to load. I just want to compare Steel Snake 3 to Steel Snake 2. Yeah, that was 161 grand and that's 93. So I've saved about 50 grand. Wow. Just by not repeating experiments. That's pretty impressive actually. I wonder if I want to so I've got those two inline stabilizers. Where are those? Command control. So I've got two of those. I could replace it with just one of those, but I don't think that helps me. It'll cost me less electricity. So that's 27 a minute. That's 36 a minute, which is obviously more, but it's not double. Compromax radial tubeless. That's for Chaos, which I'm not using. I've got to get back into doing Chaos things. Because I actually did really enjoy writing programs, but I just haven't got back into it. It's also a deployable solar panel. Well, there you go. And it's got a huge disk capacity XL. Okay. That's why it costs twice as much, because it's got an enormous disk capacity. Anyway, so that's an interesting. I've just been. I mean, yeah, it's obviously a problem, but I've just been slapping. That fairing was right. It's obviously a problem that I have just been slapping. Stuff to things. What am I trying to say? I don't know what is wrong with me. I've just been slapping science instruments all over the place without paying attention to the cost, which is actually pretty stupid. That's a pretty good fairing. So that should have the same amount of control for less electricity. suppose I wonder if I should be worried about, because the fairing just goes straight out. You theoretically want to avoid those big changes. Given the shape of this thing, I'm not sure I could really have avoided it. Maybe we could go closer in, but no, not really. I mean, you can really see that I'm just about as good as I can go. It looks like it was actually within the wiring there. That was actually showing up on this. Look at that. So the camera is actually in the wiring. So I'm going to have to give that a go at launching. I wonder if I want to stick Werner engines on this to make it easier to maneuver when it's out and about. I think I do, because not be super mega balanced, but can I get that? There we go. It's just when I'm in orbit, this big clunky thing is quite annoying to maneuver and point towards things. So a burner engine or two, I think, will help. Okay, now I think the last thing I kind of wanted before I launch this, so let's just say that I'm not going to launch it just yet. I think I'll launch it next time. Possibly it won't. We'll just join up when I've actually got to the MUN and I'm grabbing contracts, which is because that's what I want to do with that particular one. So speaking of contracts, let's go look at contracts. So visual surveys of the moon. So that's surface samples and a couple of crew reports. Probably what I'm going to do, depending how far away those are, I may even just land there and do an EVA. But I may have to go have a look at exactly where those are. What else is on the moon? Outpost, need to do that. Plant flag, I can just do that when I'm there, that's fine. Visual surveys, crew report in space flights, that's another one to do. I thought I had another one. I thought I had more surface sample ones on the MUN. Visual survey. I thought there was more than one visual survey. Oh well. So I'll do the surface sample and see if I can get those crew report ones. What I think I'm going to do is orbit, get that one, orbit to get one of those two, and then land, and then get the other one on the way out. Or maybe I won't do that. But the interesting thing is the available contracts. I've gotten to the stage where they're kind of bonkers. I think I'm going to have to take this one, because this is newly discovered Class A asteroid in tow. I haven't done any asteroid missions yet, so I think I'm going to have to take that one. But I'm getting completely bonkers contracts, like stations around the sun, in this case. A facility with 14 Kerbals. Research lab and a viewing cupola and stuff. Fairly large advance and stuff. That's going to be a big major project. But I was also getting like tourist how long have I got to do it? Yeah, well, I'll have to take it before I go to take it or not before I go to the month. But I was getting contracts to like take tourists to Moho and stuff like that. It's like, what? What are you on? Just madness. Look, these are all my completed contracts. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, my voice is a bit rough, so I think I'm gonna. That's going to be an interesting thing about when these crazy contracts that I get. So I'm very hopeful that I'll be able to get Mun, and Mun. So I'm hoping to get 3 contracts with this next flight. And so that is what we're going to do next time. So thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Visit nearlyenoughdice at nearlyenoughdice.com. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter. And finally, until next time, even though I didn't do it this episode, I admit, but I'm still aiming towards the stars.